Good evening, guys. I hope you guys are having a lovely evening, getting some rest. Most of you are probably sleeping because it's past 10, I believe. I've been debating on making this video mainly because I've been wanting to do a video on spirituality and I want to talk about God. However, I don't want to come off as religious because I have this I have my own beliefs, right? And I am in no way, shape, or form trying to put my beliefs onto you guys, except for just give the message that I'm trying to portray. And that is just the importance of building spirituality, your own spirituality, whatever that means to you. Because I truly believe it does impact our path towards healing, right? Especially if you're a trauma survivor, I feel, at least for me, I needed to find a way to return back to source in order to feel guided, in order to feel protected and safe and heard. And I did that, and I would, if I sound a little nervous, is because it's my first time even talking about God, especially talking to you guys about it. It feels weird to me. It feels kind of foreign. It feels like even a little taboo, especially because of my upbringing. And I want to start there because I believe that matters a lot. And I guess I should start off by saying that the religion that I grew up in is Catholic. And I have a lot of family members too that are more towards the Christian religious side of things. And so it's nothing new to me when it comes to that version of God, right? Of Jesus, And so the way I grew up was just, I grew up, I saw my mother having a Bible next to her bedside table. I always heard her talk about God and in her own way, which I believe also helped me have the freedom to see God in my own way. But I also had family members who went to church. Every Sunday we would actually try to go to church. And I was just that kid, when I used to think about it before, I used to be like, wow, I used to be such a malcriada, like kind of like a rebel, not necessarily stay still for mass or always be wandering off. Like I would never necessarily sit and pay attention to the words that the pastor would say. And even though I was young, I just, maybe because of the news would infiltrate my mind of like, a lot of pastors abusing children and like, I don't even want to go deep because I'm not trying to bring that energy up, but you get the point, right? And so that kind of tainted my relationship with God, right? I didn't want to know nothing about church. I didn't want to know nothing about the pastors. I didn't trust them. For me, it was just like, why should I go to church to prove to God that I believe in him, that I love him, that I am here to serve him? Why do I need to go to a physical location to prove my worth to God when God already knows my worth? I'm his child, right? So why should I have to prove my worth to him when he knows my worth? If there's anyone that knows my worth, it's him. And so it took a long time. Like it took to the point where I stop talking to God, right? I would say I believe in God, but then I would give the excuse that I don't, or like it's not like that, or I don't know, right? I just never really like spoke on God. And the funny thing is that I would always be I would always have that one friend or that one person close to me that I really love with all my heart that believes in God and would remind me of God. And so, because I don't just believe in God, like I believe in the Virgin Mary, I believe in angels. I believe in angels specifically because my mom was a very big believer on angels. She had these little cards of angels like Archangel Michael or some other things, right? Like Archangel Gabriel, stuff like that, right? And so it wasn't so much that I didn't believe in God. It was more so of how societally speaking, I felt the pressure of belonging to a church or calling myself Catholic when I knew I was not following the protocol, or the step-by-step guide on how to be a perfect Catholic, right? And so, needless to say, years down the road, I deviated myself from God. And it wasn't until, let's say, maybe 2 years ago, that I came across a book that I think it's called Captivating a Woman's Heart or something like that. I need to look up the author. However, that specific book spoke on the essence of a woman, the beautifulness, nature, and power of a woman, and why God created a woman, and how we have a purpose, right? Just like a man has a purpose in this life, so does a woman. And it just changed my perspective, right? It got me closer to God. It helped me trust in him more. It helped me pray for him more. Pray not only to ask for things, but just pray for gratitude. Pray for acknowledging the fact that I was never truly alone, because in the times that I needed help, or I needed that light at the end of the tunnel, God did his work, and things happened, right? Special people came into my life, or if I needed a helping hand, someone was there to help me. And so this past specific year, I have built my faith more towards prayer, right? And I realized that it's not just about praying for my health or praying for the betterment of others. It's about praying and thanking him, or just thanking higher source for all the good things in my life, right? And how when I felt in most this desperate situations, how I caught myself talking to him. And so I just wanted to come on here and say that that if you're doubting getting closer to God again, or if you don't even know how to begin, it's okay. I believe that if you just start by saying, thank you, God, for another day, he will come and reach out to you in ways that maybe you may not notice at first, but the more you keep on showing gratitude and praying, the more you'll start realizing that it's no longer just a coincidence, right? It's God. It's the higher source. And so when it comes to spirituality, a lot of people tend to confuse that with religion, and those two tend to get mixed together, and it's not necessarily so. Religion does not mean spirituality. Spirituality does not mean religion per se. And I'm here to talk more about spirituality. Whatever helps uplift you when you're going through that dark time, talk to it more, talk to God more, talk to your higher self more, talk to the higher source. If you believe in Buddha, if you believe in Allah, whatever makes you feel safe, right? Whatever you feel, it has a good frequency, a high vibration, a good energy, an energy that uplifts you in those dark and low times. Pray more, speak to it more. Thank it for giving you that strength. Thank it for allowing you to still be here today, to do what you were here to do, your purpose, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of judgment. There will be people, especially religious people, unfortunately, who will try to tell you that that's not the way, who will try to tell you to follow their way. And the thing about spirituality is that there's no right or wrong way, right? There's no one telling you to, there's no specific path where if you go off course, then you're no longer worthy of that higher source or God, right? And I'm here to remind you that, that you're not alone, right? That if you're doubting your relationship with God or higher source, and when I say God, like, I want to explain that at least my God, right? My higher source is about love. It's about understanding. It's about safety, about protection. My God loves. My God protects. My God keeps me safe. My God uplifts me, and if that's making me feel good, and if that's giving me the fuel to keep going and be here today to say that, even though I am scared to even speak on this matter, and not scared like I'm frightened of saying the wrong thing, because I am known to say whatever comes out of my mouth. It's more so, I guess I would say, it's not even afraid of judgment, but it's just like, because I'm tired of judgment, I'd rather not hear it. But then I realized that's exactly what the negative frequencies want you to think. That's exactly what the negative entities or energies, or like I said, frequencies, vibrations, they want you to keep you down there. They don't want you closer to God. They don't want you closer to your higher source. So they'll make you feel, they'll make you think in a way that like, hey, God didn't save you when you needed to, right? God wasn't there when you were going through those bad things. God wasn't here for that or there. Or if God loves you, why did this go that way or this went that way, right? And it's not about, and that's the thing that I've come to realize, that God is not meant to solve all our problems. God is not meant to keep us safe from everything, because then how will we learn? How would we know right from wrong? God literally gave us free will, and that's the beauty of it. The beauty to do whatever we want, right? And in that, with having free will comes great responsibility, and I'm just learning that now. And I'm learning it day by day. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm always how can I say this? I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I'm all about God, right? If that makes any sense. I'm just learning to know God. I'm just learning how my relationship with God is. I'm just building my relationship with God. I'm rebuilding it, right? If I used to believe in God, now I believe in him more. Why? Because I put in my effort. It's just like any relationship. It goes both ways, right? If God is already providing for me, then I need to put in that effort to seek him out, to seek the higher source out, and be like, hey, thank you for providing. Thank you for guiding me, or thank you for answering my questions, or thank you for putting me through this phase in life where, yes, it may not have been perfect. Yes, I may have been at my lowest point, but what got me out of it was you, right? Was God, was higher source. And that's all I want, that's my wish for you guys, is that if you are considering rebuilding your relationship with God, or if you don't even know how to start, like, just start by saying thank you to whatever it is. And the funny thing about that is that I should say that the seed was planted when I went to a guide in New York who told me to start thanking, she didn't say God. She just said, thank the sun. Every time you go outside, say thank you. Like, find something or someone that you can show gratitude to, because you have a lot to be grateful, right? You have a lot to the fact that you're alive, it's a blessing, right? And so at first, when I first heard her telling me that, I was like, I never thought about it, but you're right. The sun is the perfect thing. At that point, it was the perfect thing to look forward to. So I would wake up every morning, and I will go outside and look up in the sun and say thank you. That's it. Because the way she told me to do it was, she told me to, in other words, because I don't remember exact words, it was a few years ago, but in other words, she said, start praying more, or start showing more gratitude, and if you want to start, just start with the sun. And it made sense to me, because I'm always looking up in the sky. So I'm like, no brainer, right? And so I would go out, and I would, like I said, go out barefoot, ground myself with Mother Earth. But at the same time, I would look up and I'll be like, thank you for another day. Thank you for keeping me here, to witness your beauty, sun. Thank you for your warmth. Thank you for the light that you give. Thank you for the new sunrise and new sunset. And so the years went by. I want to say it was in 2016 or 2016, I think, or 17, when I had gone to this guide. And since then I had started that. And then I went from speaking to the sun, from speaking to the trees, from speaking to the plants, to eventually reading that book about God and the woman, and capturing, her heart, and reminding her of her worth and how valuable she is, and and so forth, right? And I'm here now today. This morning, actually, I went outside, or actually after lunch, I went outside and I went outside to check the mail, and I looked up at the sun, and it had been a few weeks actually months since I had actually gone out and just said thank you to the sun. Not even thinking about God, just thinking about how I started. And I was like, thank you, sun. Like, it's because I'm in Jersey, right? And so it's cold here. It's like brick, like how we like to say it. It's brick outside. No one wants to be outside. It's no surprise why many of us go through that seasonal depression, because the sun's barely out. And if you don't catch it out when it's out, then forget it. So I just felt like it was perfect timing. It was aligned. It was an aligned moment. And I was going to go to bed, or at least lay down right now and let another night go by. And I just couldn't. I couldn't, because yesterday I actually wanted to talk about God. Yesterday I wanted to talk about spirituality. But then I watched another video from someone else on YouTube who reminded me of how we as humans put things for tomorrow, or for later, or in an hour, or in a minute, when in reality we just want to do it at that moment. And this was a perfect example of how I've been wanting to talk about God. I've been wanting to talk about my spirituality. But for some reason or another, I kept putting it in the back burner, right? I have to do this before I talk about this. Or, I have to do that before I make this video. Or, I have to look a certain way before I talk about this. Because that's the thing with me. You guys don't know, but when I make these videos, I'm human, right? And so I fall for that pressure that I see on social media of all these women looking beautiful and like perfect. And like, even though I know that behind the scenes, they also take a long time to get prepared for these reels or videos or whatever they're trying to do. It's hard to not fall into that trap and feel like you have to have everything perfect or say the right thing. And so when I do these videos, I end up realizing that I come as I am, I show up. Like, you don't see me with makeup right now. You don't see me all dressed up. Like, I have a sweater on, and the only reason I put a sweater on was because I don't have a bra on, right? And again, it's not that I care, but hey, like, I want to be I want to be presentable still. And so I realized that, hey, God is not demanding me to show up and speak his word or speak my version of spirituality a certain way. He just wants me to speak. I'm being pulled to come on here and share my word, or share his word through me. And if I don't feel pressured by him or by higher source to show up perfectly, then why am I putting that pressure on myself, right? And that's what led me to do this video today. And I just hope you get something out of it, right? I don't have a specific purpose for this video except for encouragement to those that may need that reminder that it's okay. You don't have to build your spirituality how others are doing it. Your relationship with God doesn't have to be like mine or like anyone else's. Your definition of God does not have to be like my definition or anyone else's definition. And because I don't want that to deter you or to prevent you from building a relationship that can help you and add to your healing, right? If it's adding to your healing, then why not put more effort in doing that, which will bring you more peace, bring you more safety, more protection, more more alignment, more security, especially when you're going through hard times. You need that outlet of faith, you know. And faith, I don't see it as a religious term. I see it as a general powerful term, that a word that it means a lot, that carries a lot of depth and a lot of good depth. When it comes to this word, faith gives us hope, gives us courage, gives us bravery, gives us that love to give back to ourselves and to others. And so I hope this video helps. This was definitely a just go ahead and do it type of video, and I'm proud of myself for doing this. And I hope that you get something out of it. Please tell me what you think of this video. Tell me your beliefs, tell me your desires, tell me your aspirations, or what, or whatever it is that you want to share. You never know, someone who may be also watching this video or going through my feed right now that can benefit from your feedback, that can benefit from your point of view, because that's the whole point of my project, right? I don't make videos for you just to listen to me. I make videos so you can feel comfortable leaving your peace of mind in the comments, so that another woman can come on here, and if she sees it, she can see your comment and your feedback and your opinions and your beliefs and your ideas that can help her get her hope back, right? Get her groove back, get her inspiration back, get her hopes back up again. And I can't do this alone, right? We need each other as women to women. We need each other to uplift each other. And if my word is already becoming powerful just by speaking, imagine what all of us together can create, right? Our voices together amplifies that energy, kind of like sound waves, right? Where it's a ripple effect, right? So if I start speaking and you start speaking and another woman starts speaking, eventually all the women worldwide will hear us, and we will begin to see that we're not that different. We're not that far apart. We may be at different levels of alignment. We may be in different levels of life, you know, whether it's age, whether it's career, whether it's family, whether it's academics, whether it's different types of relationships. We can always learn something from one another. And that's kind of my message for today, that if you have a voice, use it, you know, use it, because you never know who's waiting for you to speak up. And no matter what it is that you want to say, there will always be someone who's willing to listen to you, or who is wishing that they can find someone like you and listen to the words that they've been needing to hear. And so with that being said, I love you guys, and I hope that you guys keep on going with your spirituality in the way that it best suits you. One love, mucho amor, mis mujeres lindas. Good night.